School Sports Extra is brought to you by Cinders.
Welcome into High School Sports Extra. I'm Matt Reynoldson, bringing you all the action from the prep landscape. And tonight we're breaking down the biggest week of the high school football season. Rivalry games from around the state, conference supremacy on the line, and plenty of head-turning plays from the gridiron to the volleyball court. Speaking of that, we'll have our first volleyball feature of the season coming up as Luxembourg Casco head coach Jeff Fry stops by the studio. And later on, we'll profile Bayport quarterback Cole Benson and name our team of the week. But we start, as we always do, with our game of the week, an absolute playbill matchup every year, the Valley's top rivalry game between Kimberly and Appleton North.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Hey, North on three. 1, 2, 3. North.
Kimberly Appleton North, a history that's dominated the FVA over the past decade, but a scoreboard advantage decidedly in favor of the Papermakers. That is, until last year's playoffs. The Lightning turned the tide in level 3, knocking off Kimberly 21-10 to advance to the state semifinals, but giving the Makers perhaps a little extra motivation for this year's matchup.
Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3.
A juiced-up atmosphere at Paul Engen Field in Appleton for this rivalry battle, and the action started right with the opening kickoff. North's Trent Mullen takes it at his own 3-yard line, trying to cut to his left, but he's chased down and stripped by Ethan Doucette. Brennan Grams with a recovery. Kimberly sets up in plus territory on the very first play. But North's defense stands tall on the quick change, and Hunter Berry knocks in the field goal for an early 3-0 lead. Some trickeration from North to try to get things going on offense. The Lightning try backup quarterback Jack Hamus on a double reverse pass, but the Makers swallow it up. Doucette and Brody Beck on the tackle for loss. Then Kimberly gets the ground game going. Blake Berry bursts through the right side for a 25-yard gain into Appleton North territory. Same drive, start of the second quarter, Berry punches it in from a yard out. Kimberly takes a 10-0 first half lead in this rivalry game. A rare mistake for Kimberly gives North a short field after a punt, but on third down, Jack Robinson is swallowed up in the backfield. Doucette and Connor Schiesel get the tackle for loss. That forces a 44-yard field goal attempt. Caden Pop gets the leg on it, but it's just right. A 0 remains on the board for Appleton North. Kimberly trying to push it downfield in the 2-minute. Seth Myron hits Ethan Kreider for a spectacular reception on the sideline. And later in the drive, on 4th and goal, Berry punches in his second touchdown from the Wildcat formation. Kimberly takes a 17-0 lead into the halftime locker room. Second half, North defense trying to rally the troops. Brock Arndt gets home on Myron to force the fumble, but the senior quarterback with a savvy recovery to avoid disaster. Later, Kimberly trying to cushion the lead. Myron hits Abe Coronado near the goal line, but he's stripped. Christian Pride recovers the fumble to give the Lightning one last glance. But that Papermaker defense was rock solid. Schiesel, Doucette, another tackle for loss. Kimberly pitches a shutout to reclaim bragging rights over their rivals from Appleton North, 17-0, the final.
Something that we definitely take away from this game is just, obviously we're going to get stopped sometimes, but just kind of how we respond to that, and the drive that we put together after we get stopped on like a 3-and-out, I mean, that just says a lot about our offense.
It's one of those games where, you know, you have bullets in the chambers, some shot plays you like offensively, but at the same time, yeah, be comfortable punting in games like this. We were trying to possess the football. You know, I thought really what was indicative of our offensive performance tonight was the drive at the end of the first half to just chew the clock, score points, and get the ball coming out at the half. That's just a really good learning opportunity for us. It's one of those games where the O has to help the D has to help the O. Special teams fits in there, and you just play complementary football, and I thought we did that pretty well tonight.
Here's a look at some notable stats from our game of the week. We said Kimberly's defense was dominant, but this performance was all-time. Just 45 total yards allowed in the game. Ball control certainly helped the defense out, and Blake Berry was a grinder all night. 28 carries for 127 yards and 2 scores. And from a defense full of standouts, it was Brody Beck with the eye-popping numbers, 9 total tackles, including a half sack. With Kimberly's win, just 2 unbeaten teams remain in the FVA, the Papermakers and Neenah. Those Valley rivals meet in the second to last week of the regular season, October 7th. When we come back on High School Sports Extra, we'll profile one of the state's best offensive standouts. But first, it's time to switch gears to the volleyball court. The head coach of the 3-time defending state champion Luxembourg Casco Spartans stops by the studio. We'll chat with Jeff Fry about their quest for a 4-peat coming up.
That's your band of the week, the Luxembourg Casco Pep Band with Carry On My Wayward Son. The Spartan volleyball team swept Marinette in straight sets.
Welcome back to High School Sports Extra. Pleased to welcome into the studio Luxembourg Casco volleyball coach Jeff Fry, and an honor for you this week as you were nominated for the National NFHS High School Volleyball Coach of the Year. What does that honor mean to you, and what does it say about your program that's won 3 straight state titles?
Yeah, it was totally unexpected, and I think the biggest thing, it just says a lot about the girls in their program and the hard work that they put in to help us get to where we have. So I'm proud of that honor and that stuff, but I'm more proud of the hard work that we put in as a staff and my coaching staff and everybody else to do that, and that's a team effort.
Before we get into this team and before we get into this season, let's talk a little bit about your program and the consistency you guys have built. What is the key to that?
I think it's just trying to build a culture of consistency and determination and just putting the work in on a daily basis and in the off season. And we have a lot of girls that love the game, that want to be there, and I think that's a huge thing.
We talked a little bit about this at the game, but it was the youth night on Thursday night when I was there, when you guys were playing Marinette. How much is the youth programs and just the culture of Luxembourg Casco volleyball feeding into the lower levels for you guys?
I think any great program knows that it starts at the youth program and starts at that youth level, and so that's something that when I started 12 years ago, that was something that I looked at. One of the best programs in our school's history is the wrestling program, and they have an unbelievable youth program, and I'm like, if I want to be like them, I want to be putting state championships up there and doing that. I want our program to be doing that. So we really worked hard and modeled a lot of stuff that we were trying to do with building our youth program with what they've done. So
you certainly have a team that is built at the lower levels as well, and not just your JV teams and your teams, but also the youth levels. But your varsity team also always includes some younger players. How have you mixed those in with the upperclassmen, some of the experienced players? How do you get those players mixed in? How are they ready for those moments just based on the culture of the program?
I think it stems from the older girls who set a standard and an expectation in our program, and then the girls have something to strive for and want to be like, and then when those girls come in, they're ready and the girls welcome them in, and I just think that's a huge thing, the family atmosphere that we try to build.
One of those players is Autumn Flynn, and she has been such a huge part of your program for now 3 years, or at least the 3 years that I've been here. Just seeing her be such a vocal leader, be that huge presence in the middle, but as well as on the outside and everything like that. What have you seen from her growing into that role in her senior year? Clearly she was already a leader, but now she gets the senior title with it.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I got to start coaching Autumn when she first started playing club as a 6th grader. So I was her first club coach, and I've had the joy of watching her grow as a player, but more importantly as a leader. And we're asking a lot out of her, taking her from a position where she's going to play at the D1 level as a middle, and asking her to go outside and play a position she's not used to. And it's been fun to watch her grow in that position, but it's also been fun to watch her realize that along the way she can be a leader and help everybody else. And every time she steps on the floor, she's becoming more and more of a leader. So I'm unbelievably proud of her and the things that she's doing, and it's just she's a joy to coach.
She's going D1 as a middle blocker, but I'm sure she's had conversations with you. Hey, coach, can I play 6 rotations? I know she wants to be on the floor at all times. How do those conversations go? I know you've had some extremely skilled players within this program. How do you get players to embrace the role that they need for this team's success?
I think you said it exactly. We just have to, every person on the team has a role, and you buy into that role and you buy into the things that you want to do, and if there's a role that you want to expand, then you got to kill the role that you're given, and then make it impossible for us not to put you on the floor. So, it's always earned, and you got to earn that opportunity. We've had girls that have done that, in opportunities and gotten on the floor and gotten that opportunity to play 6 rotations. So, it's whatever the team needs and whatever we need to do to put the team in the best position.
Taking a look at this season so far, a very successful start for Luxembourg Casco, as always, but that non-conference schedule, you guys loaded up because you know where you'll be playing in the postseason. You know the caliber of teams you'll be playing in the postseason. You went to Brookfield today and played 5 D1 teams. What do these moments, what do these early season non-conference matches teach you?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we do it. You know, like I said, next weekend we're going to go back down there and we're going to play the #1 team in DSHA, and we're going to play Kettle Moraine, who was a D1 quarter or semifinalist last year. And you know, the reason we go down and play the big tournaments is we want to play against the best, and we want to challenge ourselves and see where we need to get better. And I think when you play a team that is going to challenge you in every aspect of the game, like you could go and you know, go undefeated or have 1 or 2 losses, but what does it help you when it matters most, which is at the end of the season, which is what we're striving for. So we want to challenge ourselves, and we know we're going to take some losses along the way, and we're going to take some lumps, and there's going to be ups and downs. But I think, you know, we play 4 straight weeks to start the year, and then we take 2 weeks off, and we always seem to really hit our stride after those 4 tournaments where we load up and play all these D1 schools.
Talk about the last 2 years and where you guys have seen those early season tournaments paying off in experience in the postseason, especially in the moments of adversity in those state championship matches.
I think you said it perfectly. I think when you play those teams that put pressure on you, it forces you to develop that toughness. And once you play those teams and they put that kind of pressure on you, when you're playing other teams, you know, in your division, and we've played some great teams. I mean, FVL has an amazing program, and every year it runs us and them in our conference. In the last couple of years, it's come down to us and them to go to state. You know, but when we get in those moments, we played the big teams and had people putting pressure on us. So if we get down, we've been there. So I think that's just a huge thing. It helps us get into those positions where we feel stressed and we know what that pressure feels like. So yeah.
In those moments when you're playing teams that you clearly have an advantage against, how do you avoid those moments of complacency? Because 3 straight state titles, I mean, that's no joke. I mean, the players know that. Everybody involved with the program knows that. But it's a night in, night out sport. How do you keep them focused on a day-to-day basis?
I think you keep striving for different things. We started this year talking about being the hunted. And currently right now in the D1 or D2 rankings, we're the 3rd best team in our regional. I mean, Xavier's #1, and they have one heck of a team. FVL's 2, and we're 4. So we talked this week about we're not the hunted. We need to start doing the hunting and attacking, and so that's, you know, every year you got to find something else. And this year right now we have 3 amazing teams in our half bracket of our sectional. So that's kind of our focus, is we've got to start attacking people and getting after them, and we know it's not going to be easy, and the teams that are in our bracket have gotten better and better, and this is going to be a challenge this year, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you guys have a couple tough matches here in the coming weeks. What do you learn from those? How do you get past those teams and really lock in on, okay, we're working to get better, but we get these conference standings as well?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest game of the conference season obviously is Tuesday night. We play FEL, and that's going to be a huge one for our conference and for probably seeding purposes down the road. We're excited about it, but we also are realistic in knowing that it's the second week of September, and there's a lot of things. And we have a young team. We have a freshman setter, some other young kids that are in there. So we know that we're going to continue to grow and get better, and that's kind of our biggest focus right now, is just attacking and growing as a team. And we've been doing that every weekend out. I think we've played better this weekend than we did last weekend, and you know, that's our goal right now. So obviously FVL is a big game on Tuesday night, and we're going to be ready for it, but we also know that our main goal is to be ready come late October and hopefully early November.
Certainly a lot of volleyball left to be played. Thanks so much to Luxembourg Casco volleyball coach Jeff Fry for joining the show. The Spartans return to action on Tuesday night, facing, as he said, NEC co-leader Fox Valley Lutheran. All right, when we come back on High School Sports Extra, we'll count down your Local 5 top 5 plays and award tonight's Team of the Week. Plus, we'll introduce you to this week's exceptional student athlete. He's the captain of the Pirates, and Bayport's quarterback might just have his team seeing gold by the end of the season. We profile Cole Benson up next.
Yeah, it's always fun to just go out there on Friday and play football. You know, it's the best thing in the fall to do. We're just going to try and make it to Week 14. We've been saying that for a while. Week 14, win that Week 14 game.
Welcome back to High School Sports Extra. The Bayport Pirates are unbeaten on the season, at the top of the FRCC North, and looking for that Week 14 state championship win. So far, they're beating their opponents by at least 2 touchdowns in every game. Much of that success is on the back of senior quarterback Cole Benson, a 2-year starter under center that has grown as a player and a person with each and every snap. The captain of the Pirate ship is this week's exceptional athlete.
Number 13, Cole Benson.
Bayport's dual-threat quarterback can do it all.
Personally, I don't really have a favorite play. I mean, running's fun, throwing it up to ship is fun, but just scoring.
And score he has 14 times. Cole Benson is the ultimate picture of balance at the QB position this season. 442 yards passing, 457 yards rushing, and most importantly, 4 wins for the Pirates.
When he gets, we call him the money position, the ball's right, his feet are right, and delivers the ball on time, he's as good as there is, He's played a lot of baseball, right, played in a state tournament in baseball. That experience all carries over to playing in big games and making decisions under pressure.
But Benson's best attribute can't be measured in his 40 time or his arm strength. It's his ability to carry the flag as the face of the program, being the vocal leader for a team with high expectations.
I think last year I wasn't very vocal. This year I definitely took a step up in the summer, just trying to help my guys get better each and every week. And I've seen a lot of guys step up as well on the offense and defense, step up as leaders, and I think that's helped us a lot because we're a pretty player-led team, and best teams are player-led.
The guys just respect him because he's one of our hardest workers in the weight room, and he treats everybody with so much respect, from our special needs kids in the hallway to his teammates. And so he carries a big stick because of who he is off the field as much as who he is on the field.
And when he gets on the turf, his demeanor, energy, and smile lift others up before games, in the heat of battle, and after the final whistle.
He's just a great human, so he's really fun to coach. He's really competitive. He's worked really hard to get here, and he makes his teammates better, and that's what great leaders do. And so that certainly is Cole this year.
People are going to follow me as the quarterback, and if I'm down, they're going to be down. So I just always have to stay up, stay up, stay up. And when I'm staying up, they're going to follow me, and we're going to play good.
Now, it's interesting, last year Benson was not named the first-team FRCC quarterback, and this year that's not exactly his motivation, but of course, personal accolades come with team success. When we come back on High School Sports Extra, it's time to name our Team of the Week and our Local 5 Rewind. Plus, we count down our Local 5 top 5 plays. Which plays from which sports made the cut? Find out up next. Welcome back to High School Sports Extra. The biggest week of the high school football season saw a common theme from the Fox Valley Association to Packerland. Conference leaders separating themselves in rivalry games. That was especially true in the Fox River Classic Conference, where one of the Green Bay area's most spirited rivalries saw the league's top program reassert its dominance. Bayport earns Team of the Week honors after a 23-7 win over Pulaski. A dominant defensive performance that saw the Pirates pitch a shutout into the fourth quarter, and uniquely the victors did it with ball control. Bayport possessed it for nearly 10 more minutes against Pulaski's unique single-wing offense. Quarterback Cole Benson was a big part of that, rushing for 94 yards and 2 scores, and the defense held Pulaski to just 3.8 yards per carry. This rivalry has taken a new level in recent years, but this time the Pirates earned bragging rights over Pulaski. Bayport is 4-0 and your Team of the Week. Time now to count down your Local 5 top 5 plays. Number 5, let's go to a freshman football game in Appleton and a cool moment of good teamwork. Quarterback A.J. Thompson helps his teammate Everett Lichterman into the end zone for a cherry on top of an Appleton East win. Cool moment for the smallest guy on the field. Number 4, Fox Valley Lutheran taking on Xavier. Quarterback Liam Hygus rolls out to his right, breaking tackles, tight-roping the sideline, and diving for the pylon. The Foxes retain the Apple Trophy with a 24-15 win. Number 3, Bayport and Pulaski. Pirates facing 4th down when quarterback Cole Benson lofts up a back shoulder throw in the end zone. Brett Shipley comes down with the acrobatic catch. Bayport wins this one 23-7. Number 2, let's head to the volleyball court. Luxembourg, Casco, and Marinette. Marines trying to place one on the back line, but how about Kylie Hansen? The dig into system, the Autumn Flynn kill. Spartans defeat Marinette 3-0. And your number 1 play of the week comes from the Fondy Cardinals. Steven Schreider lofts one up, and Calvin Mullins goes up and gets it. Oh my, he mossed the defender on that and finished the touchdown run. Take another look, just acrobatic on that catch. Fondy falls 38-20 to Nina, but Calvin Mullins earns your top play of the week. If you missed any of our highlights or features in tonight's edition of High School Sports Extra, you can see the entirety of the show on our website before the end of the evening. Top plays, coach interviews, team and individual honors, and as always, a full recap of our game of the week. Your digital home for high school sports content is at wearegreenbay.com. Tomorrow, the Packers return to action. For all your pregame news and analysis, make sure to tune in to Green and Gold Game Day at 10:30 a.m. Burke Griffin and I will break down the game, and we'll have live reports from Minneapolis to set the stage for the opener. That'll do it for this week's edition of High School Sports Extra. For our entire Local 5 team, I'm Matt Reynoldson. We leave you with an abbreviated version of our Local 5 Rewind. Have a great night. We'll see you right back here next week.